Hey folks, monthly update for the month that was September. It's been a pretty busy month in rugby terms. The All Blacks managed to clinch the old rugby championship, so Fozzie, pressure's off him for a wee bit. We had the kickoff of the Premiership in the UK, plus the URC in multiple countries. So plus the top 14's been underway for ages as well. Been a busy wee time. So yeah, we'll go through some stats and thanks. Got a new jersey to show you guys, and then a little bit about the upcoming World Cup, 2021 World Cup being played in 2022, which is not a mouthful at all. The South African A side, some of the call-ups that's going on with Eddie Jones's England training squad, and yeah, you guys can let us know your thoughts on what's been going on. Zebre, I've just tried this sucker on this morning. Zebre, latest jersey. What a kit that is. That's eye-catching. Birthday gift. Thank you, Mum and Dad and wife, because yeah, we ended up getting this one for my birthday, man. Getting older, but gonna look good as I age in this very, as I said, eye-catching Zebre kit. I was determined because Zebre has since switched to a much less eye-catching blue kit. I was determined to get Zebre in all their glory. Obviously, the Italian team for the URC before they run out of these classic jerseys. So they only won one game in this jersey last year because this is the last season's jersey. Not that it was on discount. Level Rugby, full price, £64. That's over $100 New Zealand. That's a pricey last season jersey. I told my son how much it cost this morning. And he said, it's not worth it. If I was selling jerseys, I would be selling them for $30. That's about the right price from the mouths of babes, eh? We know we're getting ripped off for the rugby jerseys. But yeah, my parents and my wife, they split the cost of this one. So thank you, team. As I said, I wanted to get Zebre before they only sell the blue suckers. They're playing a lot better in the blue jobbies. But it doesn't quite look the same. There's enough blue teams already. Come on, man. Black with like rainbow zebra stripes. Come on, that's a heck of a jersey. So thank you guys. That's my birthday gift for the year. My wife asked me, "Really? Do you really want another rugby jersey?" The answer was, of course, yes. So cheers for that. Some stats for the month that was, folks. Before I get to the other thanks, with the rugby championship, a lot of South Africans tuning in. 39% of the audience in September was from South Africa. You guys are number one. New Zealand at number two, a distant 12%. It's a big difference there in the UK, Australia, and Ireland. Those are your top five countries for the month. 13% of people who've been watching in September turned on the auto-generated subtitles. So I'll be interested to see how accurate they are with the old New Zealand accent. How much, I don't have a very strong New Zealand accent, to be honest, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how accurate the subtitles are or not. Most popular videos, Rugby World Cup odds. This is Rugby World Cup 2023. The South Africa against Australia Game 2 was also pretty popular. And the Bernard Foley penalty time-wasting incident. Yes, very, very controversial. But there you go. So, also, you guys watch other channels such as Rugby Pass, the All Blacks, the Super Rugby Championship channel, and interestingly, Wide World of Sports. I didn't know Wide World of Sports was doing rugby coverage, but I guess it makes sense because it's owned by the same company that owns Stan Sports, so they've probably got a few highlights going. So yes, folks, those are the stats for the month that was September. Quick thanks to all the patrons. If you guys want to get your name on this illustrious wall of patrons, check out Patreon, link down in the description. Do a bit of extra content for the old Patreon community, such as Super Brew updates for all the competitions we play. Been talking a wee bit about my neighbour who can be a bit of a grumpy guts because we've had a driveway thing going on, if that is of interest to anybody. Australia complaining to World Rugby about the ref and the Foley incident. Out in Yankees, all the good stuff. Well, actually, all the kind of fringy stuff goes on the old Patreon. But yeah, big thanks to these people, man. Like I said, as always, YouTube is a bit of a fickle beast in terms of basically trying to make money. So Patreon's very consistent. So these people help keep the lights on. And if you want to join them, like I said, link in the description. it'd be much appreciated. Big thanks to Angus, Jack McHugh, and Michael Daly for their support as well. Plus, we've got some new Patreon supporters in the month of September. Neil Olsen, Tim Blair, John McNamara, and Michael, who's a returning patron. So thank you guys for signing up. It means a lot. Where else are we at? Rugby World Cup 2021. Kicking off in 2022, obviously delayed by COVID. This is, of course, the Women's Rugby World Cup. I still don't really get why they don't just call it the Men's World Cup and the Women's World Cup. I'm assuming there's a PR reason for it, but all the bookies, if you want to, because I looked at the odds, all the bookies call them Men's and Women's World Cup because I guess they're in the business where they need to be clear because they don't want people complaining that, you took money on this competition. I mean, they're just assuming that fans, if they're worth their salt, they should know which year is which World Cup, right? You need to keep track of that. God forbid we make things a little bit clearer. Anyway, I won't rant about it. The World Cup 2021, playing in 2022, is kicking off in New Zealand this very weekend. So that's good news, man. World Cup is always a good thing to have on. England, big time favourites. Massive, massive favourites. I would say, remember back in the day when 2003, 2007, All Blacks had a pretty good side going into those competitions. Like I think 2003, All Blacks lost like one game in that year. 2007, was it like 1 or 2 going into the World Cup? All Blacks were pretty good. This England side going into this 2021 Rugby World Cup, better. They haven't lost the game in donkey's years. They're on a huge winning run. They're just flogging everybody pretty much. I've watched the Women's Six Nations the last couple of years. They've been very, very good. Their forward pack is dominant. I know the Black Ferns, I was going to say the All Blacks, the Black Ferns have been tearing it up with their backs in recent times. They gave Japan a bit of a hiding. They had a couple of games against Australia. All Blacks. Black Ferns are the second favourites for the competition. I think they're paying like $3. The English are paying $1.50. So there's a big difference in the odds. It's going to be up front where I think anyone is going to struggle with that English pack. They are huge. France are the third favourites, followed by Canada and the USA. So, you guys have to let us know your thoughts. If you're going to watch the 2021 Rugby World Cup, I'll certainly be watching as much of it as I can. Some of the games are being played at my local stadium down here, over here in West Auckland. So that should be a bit of fun. I have to get along to some of the games. And we'll see how things go. Like I said, England are massive favourites, so it's hard to see anybody upsetting them, but I've just referred to 2 men's tournaments where the favourite didn't even make the final. So funny things can happen at a Rugby World Cup. South Africa's A side, they haven't named any players yet, but they have named the coaching setup. Springboks assistant coach Mzwandile Stick is going to be the head coach for the South African A side, which remember is playing Munster and Bristol, whilst the Springboks will be doing their Northern Tour as well. And remember, Rassie Erasmus was able to talk about this in his official capacity as Springboks or South African Director of Rugby, because his ban on participation in media stuff has been served, and he basically said it's going to be good for the coaches to get exposure and good for the players. So it's interesting to see how many sides are opting for these kind of depth building programs as we lead into a World Cup, because there's obviously so few games to go before the 2023 World Cup. So they're trying to get as much depth built as they can prior to that competition. The Aussies are playing in Japan. Remember, the New Zealanders have had the Māori All Blacks as kind of a depth building machine for a wee while as well. Ireland have got their emerging Ireland side in South Africa at the moment. So there's a lot of sides choosing to go for these kind of A sides, or whatever you want to call them, to build a bit of depth. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of side gets named for South Africa A, because last year the South Africans didn't rotate that many players. They've done a lot more of it this year, but there's a lot of those young guys who haven't quite managed to either become regulars or get even a chance, who I think will get a crack in that side. So it will be a really fun one to watch. Plus England, remember, England have called up not called up, but they've arranged their kind of training squad at the moment as they prepare for the November internationals. They've had a few guys pull out with injury, so they have got a few call-ups. A couple of the guys from Newcastle, Radwan and McGuigan. McGuigan is maybe even a bigger try-scoring machine than Radwan. If you haven't seen him playing for Newcastle, the guy was almost the top try-scorer of the Premiership last year. He was pipped in the last round, but the hooker, George McGuigan, he gets a lot of tries. So he's managed to get a call-up. Adam Radwan, proper lightning winger, and then Jack Singleton, another hooker, because a couple of their injuries are at hooker. So yeah, they're kind of testing Eddie Jones's depth in that position. But Singleton's been in there before, so yeah, we will see how he goes if called upon to play in November. But still early days. We've still got a whole month, pretty much, as I sit here on the 5th of October. Before those games are going to get underway, so still a bit of time, but yeah, time is certainly flying by, folks. So yes, thank you again to my family for the Zebra jersey. It rocks. I've tried it on, it fits. It's a 2XL. With Macron, you tend to need to go a little bit bigger with the sizes. I tend to float between the XL and 2XL, but with Macron, if you are like that, go with the bigger one, because you don't want to get a jersey that's too small. Thanks to the patrons for supporting the channel. Down in the description if you want to join that. Also, if you want to check out Level Rugby, where I got that jersey from, link down in the description to them as well. They got loads of jerseys, although I will say they used to use DHL, which was lightning quick shipping. They're no longer on DHL, but they're still the same bloody price for shipping. It was £12 to ship the thing from the UK to New Zealand. Like, when it's DHL, you can kind of accept the slightly pricier shipping because it gets to you really quickly, like within a week. But this took substantially longer, and I still had to pay the same price. But I still recommend Level because they're a, they've got a huge selection. But yeah, just a wee caveat there, because they used to be DHL, but it's not anymore. So yes, Level, affiliate of the channel, check them out. Loads of jerseys. But yeah, thanks to patrons, my family, all you guys for viewing and liking and subscribing. And I haven't checked the stats on who's subscribed and who's not, but if you haven't subscribed and you made it all this way, please consider doing that, because YouTube loves engagements and stuff, and that would help us out. So cheers, folks. Enjoy your October. There's plenty of rugby to come, and then November, it's going to be massive. You guys take care, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.